Now in this chapter 3, I will work for creating employee leave API, table and rules. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create one employee leave models. So here let me create employee leave.py and I'm going to import db database.xts import db. I'm going to create employee leave model. This is my employee leave class. I have to add db.model. Employee leave, there will be id. I can write db.column. It will be my integer and primary key is true. And also I will be having employee id. It will also be integer and nullable equals false. And also there will be status. This will be string and again nullable equals false. I can copy this, paste and again paste here. Okay, this will be my type. This is duration from, this is duration to, and also one more field, reason. Okay, my employee leave contains id and again employee id, status, suppose approved, pending or rejected, and also there is type, suppose a sick leave or compensation leave, something like that, and duration from, so when to take a leave, this will be from duration and this will be to duration, and this will be my reason. Suppose the reason is I'm sick, I'm traveling, something like that. So this will be my employee leave model. And again I'm able to save this leave request. I can add dv.session.add self, and after saving this employee leave I have to commit my changes. Also managers will be able to update this request. That means managers will be able to update, suppose status to approved. So I should have this update method here. Duration from, suppose this field also can be updated, duration to, also reason. I can write self.status self.type equals type, self.duration from equals to duration from, self.duration to duration to, and then self.region to region. And finally I can commit the changes. Okay, this is completed. This is my employee leave model. And now I'm going to create this employee leave routes. So here I can write employee leave routes.py. Okay, from Flask I'm going to import a request. From models I also need users model, so I have to import users user. Okay, also I need expect from custom decorator. And also I need the model I have just created. Import employee leave. And finally Flask restx, I have to import a resource, namespace, fields, and also new thing I will import abort also. If there is some error then I can use this abort. I'm going to create separate namespace for this employee leave. So employee leave namespace. This is for my employee, and I can pass a description. Just like I have created a separate namespace for user, I can create separate namespace for employee leave also. Namespace for employee leave request. I can write employee leave API model equals my model name is employee leave, and here there is ID, and this will be integer. There is employee ID, this is also integer. There is status, this is string. Type, this is also a string. Duration from is also a string. Duration is also a string. And finally reason is also a string. Okay, this is my employee leave API model, just like I have created for user API model. And now I have to create root, so I can write @employee leave namespace dot root, and the path will be ID will be required / apply leave. The first one is employee leaves resource. I can write any name here. I have to pass resource. I have already imported this resource. And now first one is get request self ID. I can write comment, and this comment will be visible in my API document. I can write here get all leave request for a particular employee by employee ID. That means I'm going to extract all the leave requests for a particular employee and by employee ID. So here first of all I have to check if that employee exists or not. Check if the employee exists. I have to write employee equals user dot query dot get ID. If the user is not here, the user doesn't exist, I have to use this abort method. I can write abort, and the status code will be 404, that means not found, and I can write employee not found. So this abort will stop the execution here. But if there is employee, I have to query all leave requests. So I can write here comment leave requests for the employee. I can write here employee leaves equals employee leave dot query dot filter by. I'm going to use filter by because previously I was using get, and this get will helpful if I want to query by my primary key, but right now if you see here I'm using filter by because I would like to filter by not by my primary key but my other field. So I have to write filter by. I can write employee ID because employee ID is not my primary key, so I have to use filter by. If my employee ID is primary key, then I can use directly get. So I can write employee ID equals to ID, and I will get ID from my path URL. And then I have to write here all. I would like to fetch all the employee leave for this ID, and then I can return employee leaves. Okay, and here I can format the output. So I can write at the rate employee leave dot marshal with. I have to write marshal list with because it will give me an array of object. I have to pass employee leave API model. Okay, now I can also create post method self ID apply or leave. Again, I have to check if employee is there or not. So I can write employee equals. I can write user dot query dot get by ID. ID is my primary key, and if not employee, I will call a bot. So 404 again employee not found, and if the employee is found, I have to take a request from the user. So I can write data equals request dot get JSON and here this will be this request. Okay, request dot get JSON. And now I'm going to create leave info employee leave. This is my model, and it takes first one, it takes employee ID will be ID, status will be data get status, type will be data get type, duration from. Also there is duration too, and last one is reason, data get reason. This will be my employee leave, and I have to save this employee leave. So leave info dot save. As simple as this. Now I can return this leave info. Okay, this is also completed. Now what more I can do is here again I can format the output. I can write employee leave ns dot marshal with employee leave API model. Okay, and also I can call my expect function. This get will not take that expect because I don't need to send any payload, so expect will not be required here. But when I am applying a leave, I will need the payload example value, so I have to use expect namespace will be employee leave namespace, model will be employee leave API model, and here I don't need this ID and employee ID, so I have to pass here. I have to pass here. Okay, I have to pass ID and my employee ID. This ID is not required because it will be automatically created, and this employee ID will be, if you see here, employee ID will be ID, and this ID will come from the path, so this employee ID is also not required. This is for getting and creating a leave request. Now what am I going to do is I'm going to create another class this will be my employee leave resource for individual leave, because manager will take only one leave and update the leave, so I will need this. And here the root will be, I can write employee leave ns dot root, and it will be employee id / apply leave, and also it will take a leave id. So first of all, I would like to create a put request. It will take employee id and leave id. I can write update or leave status by id, because manager have to update the status. Suppose the employee is requesting a leave, then manager has to update the leave status to either pending or rejected or something like that, or approved. So here I can write a leave data equals employee leave dot query dot filter by employee id equals employee id equals leave id, and I can write here first. So get the first record that is matched, and if not found, if not a leave data, I can use about 404 no leave request found. And if leave data found, I can write data get JSON, take data from the payload, and here I can write updated leave data. But before this, if you see here, I will not get the actual data from here, but I will get the object. To get the actual data, I have to use Marshall again. Here what am I going to do is, I am going to use the leave data equals, I can use employee leave ns dot Marshall, I can pass leave data, and then this employee leave ns model, employee leave API model. Okay, so with this leave data, I will get response like this. If it's here, I will get a response like employee and suppose id, something like that. But to get the actual data, I have to use now Marshall. I can't use Marshall here, because if I write Marshall here, then it is useful when I return the data. Right now here, if you see here, I'm not returning the data, so I have to use Marshall here. Okay, now I will get actual leave data. So here what I can do is, I can write key value or key comma value in data.items if value is not none. That means just update the value that is in this request. Suppose if a duration from is not here, then I don't need to take that field, I don't need to update that field. So I'm using if block here. If value is not none, then only I have to take that field. Okay, now here I can write new leave data equals, I can destructure my leave data, and again my updated leave data. So if same field is present here, it will override the field from here, so it will update my value, and this asterisk will destructure my data. Now I can pass here leave data. I have already made this function update, and again I can pass this new leave data. If you see here in this update, here I have created update, and it will take status, type, duration from, duration to, and region, and if I am passing some of the field from here, then only it will take that field and update those field. So suppose if my new leave data will be, suppose if this leave data contains status, first one is pending, and if this over leave data contains status approved, then uh, this will take priority. That means my first value will be overwritten, and this asterisk asterisk will destructure the value. That means if my new leave data is in JSON, suppose status is approved, then it will destructure my data and it will assign status equals to approved. This will destructure my data, and then I'm going to return this leave data. And now I'm going to format my output. So I can write employee leave ns dot marshal with employee leave API model, and to validate my input I can write expect. I can pass my namespace, my model, and again I don't want this ID and employee ID. I believe the code is completed. Now if I refresh my app document, and I can go to, okay, I have to register my employee namespace. So I have to go to my main.py file, and here I'm going to write from api.employee leave routes. I'm going to import employee leave namespace, and again here I'm going to write api.add namespace employee leave namespace, control yes. And here if I refresh this again, okay, here the issue is in nullable. If I go here, first of all I have to create a database for this employee leave. So I have to run this command python -m database.db init, enter. Okay, so this is the issue, column got an unexpected keyword argument nullable. Let me fix this issue. So where it is in the status field, okay, I can see here db.column. Okay, this C is capital, sorry for that. So this field is again capital, control yes, cls, and I'm going to create my employee leave table. Enter, database created. If I go to database structure, refresh this, see employee leave table is there. And now my server is not running. I can run python main.py. Okay, I can refresh this, see employee is there, and this is the namespace for employee leave request. If I go to get request, and if I try it out, if I see the leave request for employee user id 1, I can execute this. There is no any leave request, right? I'm going to create one leave request, so I can go to this post request, try it out, and here status is, initially the status is definitely pending. Type is a sick leave, duration from is suppose 2025 from 0501 to same date. Suppose I'm going to take just a 1 day leave, so I can pass the same value here. Reason is I am sick, something like that. And this is for user id 1 because I have only one user right now. And if I click on execute, okay, the leave request is created. Now if I go to execute this get request again, I will get this leave request. And if you see here, the server response is just, there is only 200 responses. I can also add the responses by myself. Suppose if there is 404, what will happen? So this is not mandatory, but I can write here in this employee leave routes, in this apply or leave request here, what I can do is I can write employee leave ns dot response. I'm going to document my API model. So if it is 200, I can create my own message. Employee leave requested successfully. I can also add this. And suppose if the response is 404, I can create my own message, employee not found. Okay, control yes. And now let me copy this again. Let me refresh this. And for employee, if I go to this routes, if you see here now, 200 is for success and 404 is for employee not found. So I can document status code by myself. And again, let me create another request. Suppose this is for id1 again. Suppose if it is for id equals 2, then employee will not be found. Let's see what will happen if I click on execute. See, employee not found is the response from the server. So this is for employee id 1, and again I'm going to create a leave request from 6.1 to 6.6. Suppose type is compensatory and I'm traveling. Execute. Leave request is created, and if I hit the get request, try it out. This is for I have to pass also the employee ID, user ID. If I click on execute, okay, there are two leave requests, right? And suppose if manager wants to update this leave request, then we have also API for that. So if I see here, I would like to update this second request. There is put request, and this is for manager who will be viewing your request. I'm going to update this request. So suppose the manager will approve your request, and employee ID is for 1, leave ID is 2, right? This is the second request for this user, and if I click on execute, okay, it is updated. This is how we can create employee leave request model and API. If you see here, these all are the requests that is required for this employee leave. This is all for chapter 3. Now in the chapter 4, I will be discussing data validation with parser.